Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
And welcome back. West Virginia is feeling the burn, and we see that Mr. Sanders has toppled Mrs. Clinton in a state that she won back in 2008, notching another victory to keep him on the path to the nomination. With 61% of precincts reporting Tuesday evening, Sanders led Clinton 51% to 36%. And also with Sanders' projected victory, he's slated to win the majority of the 29 pledged delegates at stake. Now, it's going to be a very narrow window, but Bernie is still in this thing. And for all you Sanders supporters out there, you are doing somewhat of a good job trying to get Bernie out there in the limelight. He lost a lot of esteem just due to the superdelegate process. And I'm not a Sanders supporter, but I do want him to have a fair shake in this election cycle. So good job to you guys keeping him out there and not letting Miss Clinton just come in and take all the delegates with the superdelegate process. I mean, before even Sanders gets to the states and the voters get to the polls, the delegates are already sucked up during the superdelegate process. So we'll see how much longer he can hold on. Now, in other political news, we see that Obama's speechwriters are actually laughing about the American people believing Obama's lies. They sit around here and they talk about, hey, Bob, you know, it's great when you wrote that line about this or that. And here's a clip of this. These guys talking about all the lies they put into Obama's speeches.
The point is that you have equal impact on serious speeches because it's about style, use of language, etc.
I really like, the joke speech is the most fun part of this, but the things I'm the most proud of were the more serious speeches, I think. Healthcare, economic speeches, and I think
Lovett wrote the line about if you like your insurance, you can keep it.
How dare you? Huge impact. And you know what? It's still true. No. Yeah.
And now, while they may be laughing it up and having a good time, we have a story here that is no laughing matter, and that is Vietnamese girls being smuggled into China and sold as child brides. The villages along the Vietnamese-Chinese border are a hunting ground for human traffickers. Girls as young as 13 say they've been tricked or drugged and brought into the country. Young Vietnamese women are valuable commodities in China, where the one-child policy and long-standing preference for sons has heavily skewed the gender ratio. And this is for all the people who say that overpopulation is a big issue. Now, I do understand that you do have some cities where that's an issue, like New York, Mumbai, or other places where, you know, we go down the street the wrong part of the day or the right part of the day, where it may be. You can't even walk down the street. It's like being at Disneyland or something like that. But the thing that people don't realize, if you go to more open areas, like I'm from the state of Oklahoma, there's plenty of open space out there. So people who talk about overpopulation usually come from these big cities where they never seen a patch of green grass or, you know, a cow walking around in a pasture. And more to that, this brings to light a very serious problem. I was talking to David Knight about this just a little bit ago. And he says it's getting to the point in places like China, due to these one-child policies, that eventually people are going to start invading other countries just to get women. You have to think about this stuff years ahead. You can't just say we're going to get rid of all the women or say you can only have a certain number of women, because you see they're bringing girls in just for the main purpose of being sex slaves, essentially. These young child brides are forced into these countries. So it's a very serious issue, and the answer isn't to limit the number of children that people can have. You should have better societal means to help people take care of the children that they do have, so it doesn't become a burden on anybody else. Now, as we're talking about this serious news, it continues with a blast from ISIS. They've come out and attacked an Iraqi city, Baghdad, and we see that ISIS says it's behind a series of attacks in Iraqi's capital Wednesday that targeted Shiites and left more than 90 people dead. At least 64 people were killed when a car bomb went off in a market at Baghdad, according to Iraqi police. And experts have said that the security vacuum has opened in Iraq amid political turmoil. And this is the old adage, you guys probably heard it. You take a drug dealer off the street and next week there's another drug dealer to replace them. It's the same thing when you take these dictators, as bad as they may be, out of these places where you talk about Gaddafi or Saddam, or, you know, what they're trying to do in Syria with Assad. When you remove these guys from power, just like we've seen in Libya, all you do is create a breeding ground, a battleground, and the group that eventually takes over, it just becomes a ISIS training camp or a terrorist training camp. It's the same principle when you talk about the drug dealers. If you're going to remove somebody from power, regardless how bad they may be, you need to have some type of structure, some type of reform ready before you go and do that. You can't just take them out, cut off the head of the snake, and hope that no other snakes come into the area. That's always going to happen. And finally tonight, I'm not your typical grandma, and this is a 81-year-old woman who shot and killed an intruder.
You know, never in my whole life did I ever anticipate having to take another life, especially at age 80. Give me a break here.
But it's something Barb says she'd do again in a heartbeat to defend the family she loves.
I felt like if I hadn't, my son and I both might be dead, and my husband would have probably bled to death on the kitchen floor.
And that's why you need a Second Amendment in this country. It is the great equalizer, so you can defend yourself against multiple attackers, people who have weapons, even if you are, in her case, a little more frail, being 80 years old.
Riches and wisdom. So we have even right there.
What's his name?
This is an emergency transmission from FEMA Region 6 in occupied North America.
There is a war. It's happening now. It will decide the fate of humanity. The time to choose sides has come. We are the resistance. We are the Infowars. Your liver can be full of fatty deposits, built-up toxins, and even dangerous objects known as liver stones. We worked with the top developers in the field of detox to take tried and true herbs and other compounds known to safely cleanse the liver and fuse it with the latest research and technological development on concentrating these ingredients to give you the maximum effect. Liver Shield is the only liver support product on the market that uses a patented Spigirex blend of powerful organic herbs that support detoxification. And when you visit InfoWarsLife.com, see the instructional video on how to do a 6-day liver detox. This isn't a game, and let me tell you, the results are dramatic. Liver Shield is totally organic and made of the safest high-quality herbs. Liver Shield is the only liver support product on the market that uses a patented Spigirex blend of powerful organic herbs that support detoxification. And when you visit InfoWarsLife.com, see the instructional video on how to do a 6-day liver detox. This isn't a game, and let me tell you, the results are dramatic. Liver Shield is totally organic and made of the safest high-quality herbs. But that said, you need to consult your physician before you do the full detox. Liver Shield can also be used daily by itself for overall upkeep of the liver. Secure your Liver Shield today exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com for the lowest price available. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.